Telkom will provide connectivity solutions to the Independent Electoral Commission during the 2024 elections. South Africans will take to the polls on the 29th of May to elect the leadership of the 7th administration. In a statement, Telkom says it will support 320 IEC results capturing sites nationwide, including 10 results centers, utilizing technologies such as Wi-Fi 6, Layer 3 networking and high-speed fibre. Joining us to discuss this further is Jonas Bogoshi, CEO at BCX. Now, this is the technology arm of Telkom Group. Mr. Bogoshi, good evening and thank you very much for your time. It's quite fitting that we have you on tonight, just after the IEC launched the National Results Operations Centre. But before we discuss your network infrastructure for these elections, just talk us through how Telkom's role and responsibilities in supporting the IEC have evolved since the first democratic elections.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. I mean, let me say upfront that what we do is a supporting act, right? I think the main cast is the IEC itself and Mr. Simon Mabulo and his team. I was there this afternoon when they were launching the rock, as they call it, and I could not help it but be proud. So really, good work to the team. Coming back to your question, our relationship with the IEC actually dates back 30 years ago. So we've been involved with them since the beginning of the new dawn, where we were the exclusive partner for providing basically the infrastructure that will allow them to run the elections. I'll come into that in a moment. But what we have done is, so over the years, we look at how we run the elections, the effectiveness, efficiency of the infrastructure, and next time they run the elections, we improve of that. So our relationship with them is not a once-off. Even after elections, we continue to look at what other ways that we can use to improve how they run the elections.
So it's a significant milestone even for you too. It's 30 years of supporting the IEC. Then to the network structure itself, which must ensure connectivity across all electoral sites, from the headquarters to voting stations. Unpack this for us, particularly that which I stated in the intro, the technologies such as your Wi-Fi 6 and the high-speed fibre I was talking about.
Yes, and I'll have to be very careful not to go into lots of technical terms that many people may not be familiar with. But just to go back to exactly what you are saying, if you go back, we have been running, or rather, the IEC has been running the elections on an old infrastructure, copper infrastructure as we know it. In some areas where there was no connectivity, we were using satellite. So whilst it was good, rudimentary, I must say, but good to run the elections those days, over the time we decided that will not be the right way to do it. And since about 12 months ago, we've been upgrading them to a fiber. So we put all of the sites that the counting sites, if I can call them, and those will be what they call the permanent sites, we've put them on fiber. The reason why we do that is really for the following reasons. We have experienced over time that in some cases they require to upgrade what they have midstream while we are busy running the elections. For whatever reason, they needed us to upgrade. So what we did is to put an infrastructure where whenever they require anything, let's say between now and the voting date, at the press of a button, we can configure this to up the speed. So this is one of the latest technologies that we have provided. You're absolutely right. That is a fiber network which is connects the branches and the headquarters. Inside the the ROC itself, what we require is a number of things. SAB itself, as being one of the clients, we need to make sure that we put infrastructure for you to have high definition broadcast on the network. So that's the kind of network we put. Not only that, what the IEC wanted to make sure is they can also do live streaming on social media. So we put an infrastructure to allow that to happen. And yes, the Wi-Fi 6 that we're talking about is the infrastructure, the wireless infrastructure within the ROC itself, where different people can access the internet on that. We need to make sure that it's secure, because you're going to have various people, different parties, the IE itself, and media, etc. We needed to put the latest technology that will comply with the security requirements.
Particularly around cyber threats or unauthorized access. Just talk us a bit more on just the protocols there, the security protocols.
Yeah, thank you. So the way we looked at this, it's that we need to make sure that two things happen. One is that security is designed into the infrastructure. That is, it's not only the add-on, it's designed into the infrastructure. So just like you to be technical, what we provided was an MPLS VPN, virtual private network. So that's what we provided. So by nature, that network cannot be traversed by anybody else but by IEC itself. So that's the design part I'm talking about. The second part, we had to put security around it, whether it is what we call perimeter security for people who are trying to get into the network. And lastly, to make sure that we comply with the security standards. As an example, one that is called ISO 27001. So we made sure that we put all that together. So it is quite an important thing, and we are very vigilant, if I can put it that way, to make sure that we secure this infrastructure on behalf of the country.
So in layman's terms, confidentiality of or information of the voters will be secured in this respect?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. The main idea was to make sure that the confidentiality and meaning that even when the data is transported from one part, let's say from a counting station to the main office or to the ROC, nobody can tap onto that network and check the data. So it will be encrypted from the area where it is transmitted to where, and then only decrypted at where it is being received. So we made sure that we comply with all the security requirements.
All right. Mr. Bogoshi, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's Jonas Bogoshi, CEO at BCX, the technology arm of Telkom.